Hi everyone, Scruffany Buff Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new DJ Khaled album, Khaled Khaled. This is the 12th full-length album from DJ, producer, mover, shaker, and meme DJ Khaled, which arrives 2 years after the release of his last project, Father of Assad, one more drop in quality since his relative high point with Major Key in 2016. Like, the only thing I remember from this record is how burned up Khaled was that it didn't go to number one because Tyler, the Creator's Igor, did instead. But going into this new album, what can I really expect other than more of the same? I mean, every time Khaled drops a project, it does relatively well commercially, but we know why. It's more of a numbers game than it is a show of raw genius or talent. Bring in a bunch of producers to string along a series of trendy beats and then litter them with a star-studded assembly of features. Among them create a decent mix of living legends, but also viral new blood, and just let it rip! Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Using this formula, Khaled has drummed up a lot of bangers over the years. But the results aren't always great, or as great as they should be, considering Khaled's level of success and popularity. As you get the occasional lackluster performance, like Drake on the track Grease, which is such an old song at this point. I'm surprised it made it all the way onto this record, along with POPSTAR, which is a much better single, but still, what the hell is this track? I am perplexed by this, even though it's been around for so long. Tiny-voiced Drake, it sounds like a bad Weeknd demo. Plus, the track with Justin Timberlake leaves a lot to be desired vocally. Honestly, on this one, Justin sounds like an American Idol contestant that gets cut halfway through the season. And of course, you get feature combinations that make absolutely no sense. One of Khaled's worst on this one being Justin Bieber with 21 Savage. Only in DJ Khaled's world does it make sense to put Biebs with 21, 21, 21. So you have that. And tracks that just seem to be, I don't know, not nailing it on the finer details. Case in point, the Cardi B cut on here, where the stuttering verse samples that play throughout the hook on this track don't even sync up that tightly with the beat. Like, God, it should not be this off. Quantize it if you have to. It's a shame it's this sloppy because the Cardi verse is actually killer. The track Sorry Not Sorry is another star-studded number from here with Nas and Jay-Z, which is not only exciting because, yes, they're legends, but they're storied history together. But Nas is pretty much still in like King's disease mode here, nothing really excelling beyond what he did on that project lyrically and stylistically. Jay-Z is incredibly passionate on the back end of the song, but what really is the kicker on this track is the James Fauntleroy feature on the hook, which is great. James is a fantastic singer, which is why I am blown away that Khaled and his producers would go as far as they did to completely mangle and destroy his voice with unnecessary effects to the point where it sounds annoying. He's just a good singer. Don't mess with a good thing. But of course, with Khaled, everything needs to be as loud and as in your face and as ear-grabbing as possible. There's not really any room for nuance, as every single song is just desperate to be a hit, which is how you end up with tracks like the very overblown We Going Crazy with Her and Migos. This is a deafening attempt at a reggae kind of number, sort of. I really can't tell you. It's such a bastardization of the sounds going into it, between the sloshy horns and the driving kick drum that doesn't even complement the groove of this style of music. Also a vocal line on the hook that is stale by the middle of the track, and most of the Migos ad-libs are absolutely annoying. And I usually do like their ad-libs. Hey, have you ever wanted to listen to the iconic guitar lick from Derek and the Dominoes' Layla buried aggressively into a generic trap beat? If you do, then listen to the song I Did It. Or don't, because the instrumental is trash. No offense to anybody who did their thing on that track. I mean, there's some good performers here, but like, the beat is just such a non-starter. You'd think Khaled would be done with this sort of thing after Wild Thoughts with Rihanna, where he had that just awful incorporation of that Santana guitar lick, but lo and behold, that's one of his bigger tracks as of late, so of course he's gonna, go for that formula again, I guess. Look, despite all my complaints, I actually do think there are some highlights on this project. The track Thankful is a killer intro with these bright, huge, massive gospel chorus vocals, some passionate singing on the hook as well, and a verse on the back end that's a little auto-tuned, a little distorted, and flow-wise, I would say kind of Kanye-inspired from Lil Wayne himself. The sound of the track is compressed to death, but it is a near magical start to Khaled Khaled. Then POPSTAR with Drake that I mentioned earlier, which all of you should be familiar with at this point because the song is so old now, is a very low-key and slick one from Drizzy, proof that in some cases less can be more. His deadly and braggadocious bars plus the moody beat leave Drake feeling mysterious. Plus, it features one of his more infectious flows as of late too. This Is My Year is a fiery posse cut featuring a Boogie with the Hoodie, Big Sean, Rick Ross, and Puff Daddy just going off on the end of the song. And I have to admit, everyone's kind of showing out on this one. Even Big Sean had quite a few quotables, and a Boogie, who I'm not usually a fan of, came through with a really compelling verse and dynamic flows. Pretty grand instrumental on this one, and everybody featured just kept the energy high. Couldn't really ask for more, I guess. Then Her's glamorous and shimmering lead vocals are a perfect complement to Meek Mill's exasperated rapping on I Can Have It All. And Where You Come From actually manages to give this record, this very all over the place and somewhat inconsistent record, a strong finish. It's actually a flavorful, well-produced, hard and heavy, in-your-face dancehall banger with none other than Kingston legend Buju Banton. I can't believe Khaled got him on this track, and he just delivered such a killer frickin' verse. For me, this might actually be the best track on the entire record and one of my favorite DJ Khaled tracks of all time. It's so odd that with this style of music, Khaled just nails it. And then just earlier on the project, what the hell was going on with We Going Crazy? But I don't know. I mean, with Khaled, it's always such a crapshoot. You never really know what you're gonna get, and that's because with each project, I feel like what he's really doing is just throwing whatever at the wall and just seeing what sticks, either commercially or artistically. Which, again, yeah, obviously some highlights come out of that process, but geez, I sit here and just wonder, like, what would a Khaled project sound like if he could just edit himself, if he could just throw out the obviously mediocre tracks, or if he could just like fine-tune the ones that are halfway or 2/3 of the way there. But of course, because Khaled keeps getting positive receptions and outcomes from dropping and creating music this way, he just continues to do it and will continue to for the foreseeable future, I guess. I'm feeling a strong 4 to a light 5 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, DJ Khaled, forever.